right, thank you guys for joining us today. I'm Joshua Schultz. I'm the chairman for House District 5 College Republicans, and I'm with Michael Ballard today, who's running for Congress in House District 5. And we're just going to ask him a few questions, try to get to know him, let him talk about his campaign, issues that he has, and several other things, and ultimately why he should be able to beat Kendra Horn. So we're going to just get started. So thank you for joining the debate, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So who are you and why are you running?
My name is Michael Ballard. A little bit about me. I'm retired from the United States Army.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support. And I'm married to Lori. I've known her since the late 80s. And we've got 2 children out of the house, and we've got a few grandchildren, and one was just born just a week or 2 ago.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I try to help out. I never thought that I would even run for anything like this in my life. I always thought when I retired from the Army, I'd go fishing and be an amateur fisherman and help my fellow veterans, take them to their doctor's appointments and everything, and seeing what's going on in our nation. That's the reason why I decided to throw my hat in the ring and make a run for this seat.
All right. So, what are your 3 core areas of your campaign, 3 things that you're just running on? These are the top 3 issues that you're going to tackle.
Personal liberty, the Constitution, personal freedom, veteran issues, obviously, since I'm a veteran, and national security. It's my big 3 things.
All right, let's talk about that. The veterans, what are you seeing, what are you wanting done by Congress if you are elected into it, and working with the president and the vice president on that issue?
The one thing that I definitely want to work on, that's, matter of fact, one of the first things I do want to work on is a certain veteran issue. Surely we can get everyone on both sides of the aisle to get behind this, to the bill that I would propose, and that is the PTSD issue. We lose on average 22 veterans a day due to suicide because of PTSD issues and other mental health issues, mainly PTSD. And one of the sooner you can get to that, to tackle that issue to help the veteran, I think the better they would be. And that is while you're still in active duty, still in uniform. Once you come back from a deployment, your fellow soldiers, your commanding officer, first sergeant, and so on, they can tell a difference in your actions and attitude and the way you carry yourself, and they can tell when something's going on. But the way it stands right now, if you seek help for mental issues while you're still in active duty, that will actually hurt your career. Obviously, you can't get promoted, or you can even get thrown out of the military. So that's why your veterans, when they're coming back from Iraq or a war zone, they don't seek help because they're afraid that it will affect their career. And that part needs to be changed. And that's what I want to tackle first off.
And like you said, I think that'd be an issue. Both sides of the aisle could agree on that. Well, it's definitely a big issue.
You would think so.
You would think so. So just to keep going off of that, we're going to talk about some policies. As you know, in today's society, there's a big thing going on, like in Virginia, with the Second Amendment. So what are your opinions on Second Amendment rights? Are you for certain levels of gun control? Or are you if the military has it, we should have it? What is your level on that issue?
Well, I actually went to school before Common Core and everything, so I actually can comprehend what I read. And shall not be infringed means shall not be infringed. I am against any type of law or red flag law that would limit law-abiding citizens to own a firearm to defend their families as well as themselves. And actually, it's quite clear. It's actually illegal for states to come up with these laws that will tackle or limit the Second Amendment.
All right. And so taxes, I know some people, your colleagues that you would have on the left, would say we need to raise taxes in order to, let's say, fund a basic healthcare system or free college. Tuitions are on the rise. So what would you do to tackle that issue of rising tuitions, as most of us that are going to be watching this are going to be college students?
Well, basically, I have no problem with people. Everyone that wants to go to college should be able to go to college, but there's actually other avenues to make a living. You know, there's trade school. My son actually, he makes more money from what he did going through heat and air school than my daughter that went to college. So, and then I know it also depends on your degrees and everything, but one of the problems I feel that with the rise of cost of our education is there's some people that just cannot afford the loans that they get, and you know, when we all want, sooner or later in our lives, we'll go apply for a loan to buy a new vehicle or a home or something along those lines, and if you cannot afford to pay it back, you're not going to be given that loan. I know I've been turned down on a few loans in my life too, and then it also depends on your type of degree that you go for. Obviously, if you go into the medical field or, God forbid, a lawyer school, you're going to be able to pay your loans back. But if you go into the field or get a degree in underwater basket weaving or social engineering, chances are you're not going to be able to pay your loans back. So it goes into personal responsibility. Pick a field that you can actually make a living off of, and not just go up there and trash the country in the streets or something.
For sure. And that's a big thing that here in the state of Oklahoma, I remember during National Signing Day, that's where the student athletes sign to whatever colleges they want to go to. Some of the vote techs around the city and across the country actually did a signing day for students going into the workforce, working at Northrop and Grumman or going into construction. They actually did it where they would sign their contract with that company. And that's a big thing that we do to push is there are multiple avenues, not just college, that you can go through to get a good job and make good money, if that's what you're after. Like you said, heat and air. Everyone needs their heat. When it's cold and the heater goes out, guess who they call? When the air conditioner goes out in the summer, guess who they call?
Exactly.
There are multiple ways to earn a good living, and you're right, and that should be promoted. And for getting the degree, lowering those tuition costs, because some people don't get, not everyone can be a lawyer and make the money to pay your loans back. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt does not sound like a great thing to be in when you're about trying to think of retirement.
Exactly.
So that's for sure. And just real quick on this last issue, a big issue in today's society, abortion. What are your views on that? Pro-life, pro-choice? What are your views on that whole issue?
Well, for the longest time, I considered myself pro-life. But you have a lot of people that, mostly on the Republican side, that say they're pro-life, but yet they keep funding Planned Parenthood. They keep, they might throw up a speed bump to stop abortions for a few days or a week, but we keep on aborting babies. And so anymore, I consider myself an abolitionist. I'd love to see abolitionists, it totally abolished. I want people to realize, and I'm not going to go into graphic details because we all know how the unborn are murdered. Let's just be clear, that's what it is. We wouldn't put on the most violent monsters on death row, the most violent people in society that's killed, rape, and mayhem across the nation. We wouldn't even put them to death the way they murder babies, because that would be considered cruel and unusual punishment. So I'm for doing away with abortion.
Completely. So you're in favor of the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, just to move on, so we're going to talk. So what are the biggest needs that you see in the House District 5? I know in Oklahoma City, where I reside, I live in House District 5, poverty is a big issue. Low-income communities. The school I graduated from, Del City, is Title IX. So how would you combat some of those big issues that are at the forefront of the minds of the people you would be representing in Congress?
Well, basically, it all starts with education. Obviously, if you don't finish school, at least high school, chances are, unless you just hit the Powerball or have a rich relative or something, you're not going to do very well in life. So people need to stick with school. But this also falls onto the, not just when I say the school system, also it starts, also your parents and grandparents play a part in the upbringing, and we need to encourage our children to stay in school and actually learn something. But then again, also in the school system, they need to actually teach something, and I'm not saying they don't teach anything, but there's a lot of social engineering stuff being thrown in our public schools that has no business in schools, in my opinion. For example, transgender issues, Why are we teaching that to third graders or kindergartners? That's taking away funds as well as valuable time to teach our children to actually count to 10 without using their fingers or something. So it all goes on to education,
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So is there anything else you'd like to add? Is there a way that people that want to get involved with your campaign can contact you and get involved in trying to get you elected?
Yes, sir. The best way to find out more about me and my issues is I have a website, campaign website, Michael Ballard for Congress 2020. I'm also on Facebook, Michael Ballard for Congress 2020. The phone number that's listed on both my Facebook page and my campaign page has been my phone number since I retired from the Army in 2010. I just didn't, like most politicians, I didn't buy a cheap Walmart phone and never answer it, and win or lose, throw the phone away and you'll never get a hold of me again. So I'm keeping this number. So that my phone number is 405-885-4349. And I'm just running a grassroots campaign, a so-called poor boy campaign. So if you'd like to jump in and help a true constitutional conservative, I'd love to have you on my team.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
And so if you guys want to get involved, you heard his campaign websites and his phone number. You give him a call, you get on there and you can give him some help. And be looking forward to some more videos of the other candidates running in House District 5. And we look forward to seeing you guys again. God bless.